Utsavams take place around the year in the Parthasarathi temple. Utsavams take place for a particular god at a particular period of time in the year. It is a religious practice to carry the different gods of the temple through the Madavidis of Triplicane during some of these festivals. The gods will move in different religiously built temple vehicles like elephant, Garuda, horse, swan, or the temple Rath.
துளசி மாலையா எது விசேஷம்?
பெருமாள் துளசி தாயாருக்கு பூவு அஞ்சு சன்னதி இருக்குல்ல கோயிலுள்ள.
சரி.
ஸோ வந்து துளசி மாலை நரசிம்மருக்கும் பெருமாளுக்கு போடுவாங்க.
இந்த கோவில்ல என்ன வாட் இஸ் த சிக்னிஃபிகன்ஸ்?
108 திவ்ய தேசத்துல இது ஒன் ஆஃப் த டெம்பிள்.
ஓகே.
சென்னையில இது ஒரே ஒரு டெம்பிள் தான் இருக்கு.
ஓகே.
The Parthasarathi temple is steeped in mythologies. The Alvars have eulogized the temples in their sacred hymns glorified as Divya Prabandhams or the 4000 sacred verses. The Alvars have sung Tamil verses, Pasharams, about the deities enshrined in this temple, namely Narasimha, Parthasarathi, Gajendra, Varada, Ranganatha, and Rama. This is rare and usually only the main deity is praised. The myths and hymns add to the legacy, and there is no doubt that the Parthasarathi temple is the oldest temple in the city.
இதில் தாயார் முதல்ல பிறக்கிறார். தாயார் பிறக்கச்சு பிருகு வந்து தம் புத்திரியாக எடுத்து பிருகு மகரிஷி வளர்க்குறார். வளர்க்குற அந்த மகரிஷி என்ன பண்ணுறார், இந்த குழந்தைக்கு கல்யாணம் ஆகணும்னு நினைக்கச்சு எதிர்க்க ஒரு சுந்தர புருஷன் வரார். அப்போ தாயார் வந்து தன்னை மறந்து வாரீர் என் நாதா அப்படின்னு. அதனால் இந்த ஊர் பெருமாள் ரங்கநாதனுக்கு மன்னாதன்னு பேர். மண் நாதன், என் நாதன். இப்போ நாங்கள் வந்து ரங்கநாதன் சொல்லி அந்த பெருமாளை இங்கே இது பண்ணிடுவோம்.
இப்போ இன்னொன்று நான் உள்ளே போய் சேவிச்சுட்டு வரும்போது எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சது வந்து யூஸ்வலாக இருக்கிற பெருமாளோட இங்கே இருக்கிற பெருமாளுக்கு வந்து ஒரு மீசை
ஆமாம்
இருக்கு இல்லையா? அண்ட் பார்த்த சாரதி தேரோட்டுறது அதை பற்றி கொஞ்சம் சொல்லுங்களேன்.
மீசை வந்து போர்க்கோலத்துக்கு அடையாளம், கம்பீரத்துக்கு அடையாளம். இவரால் பார்த்தனுக்கு பெருமை.
Are there any stories like that? Interesting
stories. இப்போ இங்கே வந்து விவேகானந்தர் அவர் டெய்லி டிவோட்டி.
இந்த கோவில் வந்து அவ்வளோ ஒரு பழமையான கோவில்னா பிரசாதத்துக்கும் குறைச்சலே கிடையாது. இங்கே இந்த பிரசாதம் பற்றி are there any inscriptions temple wallsல வந்து என்னென்ன இருக்கு அதுல?
அதுல தோசைக்கு எவ்வளவு போடணும், சக்கரை பொங்கலுக்கு எவ்வளவு போடணும் அப்படின்றதுல ரங்கநாத சன்னதியோட வால்ல அந்த காலத்து நாகிரி தமிழ்ல இருக்கு.
இந்த கோவிலோட பிரசாதம் சொன்னீங்கன்னா என்ன சொல்வீங்க?
சக்கரை பொங்கல், புளியோதரை.
ஸோ இப்போ நீங்கள் புளியோதரையும் சொன்னதுனால புளியோதரை எப்படி பண்ணுறாங்கன்னு எனக்கு will you be able to put me in touch?
ராமானுஜம் மடப்பள்ளியில் இருப்பார்.
கண்டிப்பாக. யூஸ்வலாக வந்து இந்த கோவில் பிரசாதம்ன்றது என்னது?
இந்த கோயிலில் வந்து புளியோதரை தட்டை ரொம்ப விசேஷமான பிரசாதம்.
தட்டையும்
தட்டை, இந்த தட்டை வந்து உளுந்தம்பருப்பில் அரைச்சி செய்கிற தட்டை.
ஸோ இது நீங்கள் பண்ணுறது வந்து
வெறும் உளுந்தம்பருப்பு, தண்ணி, மிளகு தான்.
இதெல்லாம் வந்து எத்தனை வருஷமா பண்ற பிரசாதம்?
இது எங்கள் தாத்தா வந்து இந்த ஃபீல்டில் வந்து 48 வருஷமா இருக்குது.
அப்பா, எனக்கு வந்து தட்டை, அதிரசம் இது ரெண்டுமே. புளியோதரை இருக்கா? புளியோதரை இருக்கு. ஸோ புளியோதரை தான் ரொம்ப ஃபேமஸ் இல்லை?
ஆமாம். இங்கே
உள்ளே எப்படி பண்ணுவாங்கன்னு கேட்டாங்கன்னா சொல்லுவாங்க இல்லையா?
சொல்லுவாங்க.
தேங்க்யூ. இப்போ இந்த கோவிலோட ஒரு ஸ்பெஷல் பிரசாதம், இஃப் ஐ கேன் சே தட், இஸ் த புளியோதரை. ஸோ இந்த புளியோதரை ஐ கேன் see that there is a tamarind concentrate இங்கே பண்ணி வச்சுருக்கீங்க. அதை எப்படி பண்ணீங்க என்ன கொஞ்சம் சொல்லுங்களேன்.
அது என்னென்னா, இது வந்து இப்போ நம்ம ஊற வச்சுருக்க வந்து 30 கிலோ புளி. அந்த 30 கிலோ புளியை நல்லா கொதிக்கிற தண்ணி 30 கிலோ புளிக்கணும் ஒரு 15 மணி நேரம் ஊற வச்சோன்னா
அப்பா 15 hours
15 ஹவர்ஸ் ஊறினா நல்ல நமக்கு பேஸ்ட் கிடைக்கும்.
ஓகே. ஸோ இது எல்லாமே வந்து கையில் பண்ணுறது தான்,
எல்லாமே கையில்,
நோ மெஷினரி வாட்ஸ் எவர்.
மிளகா மட்டும்தான் இதில் அடிப்போம்.
இந்த புளியோதரைக்கு வந்து
கடலைப்பருப்பு, உளுந்தம்பருப்பு எல்லாம் ரெண்டுத்தையும் வறுத்தது,
ஓகே,
மல்லித்தூள், மஞ்சத்தூள், கருவேப்பிலை, மிளகா வந்து நல்லா வறுத்து நல்லா காய வச்சு அதை நல்லா நைஸாக பவுடராக அரைச்சிக்கணும். நம்ம ஃபஸ்ட்டு கொஞ்சம் எண்ணெயை ஊற்றிக்கணும், தேவையான அளவு ஊற்றிட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் கொஞ்சோண்டு கடலைப்பருப்பு, கருவேப்பிலை,
தனியா பொடி,
மஞ்சள் பொடி, கொஞ்சோண்டு காரமாக மிளகா,
சால்ட் ஆட் பண்ணுவீங்களா?
இதில் புளியை கரைக்கிறப்பே சால்ட் ஆட் பண்ணிவிடும். கல் உப்பு ஆட் பண்ணால் தான் அந்த நார்லாம் தனித்தனியாக வரும்.
இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங். ஓகே. As we learn these kind of recipes, the traditional ones, we also get like insights into some cooking techniques. When he was extracting the tamarind, the concentrate, he included the rock salt. The fiber from the tamarind pulls out very, very easily. If you look at this, this is nicely boiling and it's thickening at the same time.
ஆற வச்ச சாதத்தில் போட்டு கலந்து எடுத்தோம்னா புளியோதரை
சூடாவே மிக்ஸ் பண்ணிடலாம்.
சூடாக மிக்ஸ் பண்ணுவோம்.
Oh my god, fabulous இருக்கு, outstanding. அதாவது every flavor, அந்த தனியாவோட flavor, the red chilies, turmeric is what is giving the color also. Oh my god, it is just fabulous. Thank you so much. The existence of Tiruvallikeni village is seen in the records dating back to the Pallava period and even earlier. The village's name is derived from the lily pond that is in front of the temple. It is believed that goddess Vedavalli, consort of Lord Ranganatha, one of the 5 main deities, was born in a lily flower. The pond itself was amidst a tulsi forest, and this place must have looked beautiful like in the hymns. The temple forms the core of the area's history. Every story emanates from it. The contrast at the M.A. Chidambaram Stadium ground is apparent. You can still see the remains of the old stadium among the thousands of yellow chairs. You can say that at Chepauk, the old meets the young or the new, and a love for cricket unites the two. There is significance in a visit to this ground for my father-in-law and the journalist in him. Uncle, we are at the epicenter of cricket in Chennai. I can even say the south of India and even India perhaps. What is your memory of cricket in Chennai, especially in Chepauk?
Oh, very historic, right up to 1967-68. Madras Cricket Club used to be the club that would host the test matches.
Yeah.
So we would see very great players here in the dressing rooms, sharing this before the bigger stadium came up. Everyone sort of came out of the Madras Cricket Club and walked out to bat. Okay. So right up to from 1846, the club was established, and then Test cricket began here probably in 1951. India won its first ever Test match in Chepauk. So that's very, very historic. Chepauk ground has been a very lucky one also for the Indian team.
If you had to look at your career, what do you think was your defining moment?
Probably the tied Test match here in 1986 between India and Australia.
Yeah.
That was a very, very exciting moment because I knew I was very close pals with Kapil Dev and other. Last day they had 349 to win, and they got 348. So it's a really great Test match.
What is the kind of food that you remember at the Madras Cricket Club?
I mean, when we were young and playing cricket here or coming to watch, we'd probably go just with green peas masala. That used to be the great dish. And all the cricket teams that played MCC on a Saturday or a Sunday, they would just love to play the MCC because of the food. The kind of food you got here was a Western plus Indian mix. Sandwiches and this and that. I mean, things that you won't
Very,
you
very
won't think
colonial.
often.
Sort of for old time's sake, I think we should have the iconic cricket drink and talk more.
Oh yeah, sure.
do you say?
I mean, it's a family club and you're welcome.
Good old taste. You know, I've had this since I was a kid, but I've never really thought to myself what goes into it. Do you know, considering this drink was invented here?
This is sort of come down from the colonial times, and there used to be a very old barman called Gaja. He would pretend as if this is so secret that he would never tell you what are the components, and he could guess. I mean, there is orange squash in it, there's a bit of barley, there's some lemonade.
Okay.
It's a combination that makes it really interesting.
Yeah.
So you have to come to MCC, you must compulsorily have a cricket club.
Cricket. You know, we were discussing about the audience in Madras and how dignified they are. Do you have any incident that you can recollect, any fond memory that you have to substantiate that?
I mean, in fact, the Chennai crowd or even the Chepauk crowd is known as one of the most knowledgeable in the world. And they're very fair crowd, very sporting crowd. They would applaud everyone, not only India. If a foreign batsman came and made a good 100, they would all stand up and applaud. And I think Chepauk made a real name in the 1997 Test match against Pakistan when India were beaten by 16 runs. A very close, tense match. And the entire audience of about 45,000 people stood up and applauded the Pakistanis as they took a lap of honor.
My goodness.
I mean, that kind of incident is never forgotten in cricket.
Yeah.
So since then, everyone would say, if you want to know cricket, you want knowledgeable, play in front of a knowledgeable crowd, you have to come to Chepauk.
Who are your top 3 foreign cricketers?
I've been watching cricket since 1960, so I've seen all the best. I've seen Norman O'Neill, Peter Burge, everyone. Then I've seen Peter May, I've seen Dexter, I've seen all the English greats, and then the West Indians like Sobers, Hall. Hall became a very good friend during our visits to Barbados. The Sri Lankans, they made history here. You know, we were very condescending when they came here to play the first Test match, and they forced India to play for a draw here.
Pretty much along the lines of what you said, you've seen cricket what it was, what it is today, and what do you see is the future of cricket?
I mean, the future would absolutely be T20, and probably somebody would invent a T10 tomorrow to make it even more interesting. But you know, that's the way it's going because people don't have the time anymore to come and sit and watch for 5 days in a row.
Yeah.
So anyway, still there is a lot of attraction because T20 brings all the women and children into the game.
Yeah.
So that's a huge plus that they're coming to watch the cricket now.
So it's becoming like social media and like your Twitter characters where it's all within that one screen, so you reduce the
everything
size.
is abridged. Everyone wants, quick satisfaction. It's like instant food.
If I had to ask you your top 3 cricketing moments, what would they be?
I would probably think the 1979 match here, Test match against Pakistan that India won, with Kapil Dev taking 11 wickets and scoring a fantastic 80-odd runs. So that was a great Test match. Another one, of course, was the tight Test with Australia. And the third, of course, when we lost to Pakistan by 16 runs here and the crowd stood up and applauded. So those are 3 Test matches that you would never forget.
Lovely chatting with you as always over cricket, and let's do a quick cheers to that.
Cheers.
It doesn't just tell a story of any particular hero. Instead, this place has the energy of so many cricket stars who have played here over the years.
Here we are to explore the Anglo-Indian cuisine. The Anglo-Indian community were very, very close to Chennai. Some of the iconic recipes from the Anglo-Indian community originated here, and one of that is the Mulligatawny soup. For the Mulligatawny soup, I'm going to be adding a liter of water, some milk. I've got the iconic Madras curry powder. धनिया पाउडर थोड़ा डाल रहे हैं. थोड़ा सा टर्मरिक अच्छा कलर के लिए. काली मिर्च, just take 5-6 peppercorns. It's always better to use freshly ground peppercorn. थोड़ा rice flour. वो अच्छा कंसिस्टेंसी के लिए। प्याज है मेरे पास। Similarly, I'm going to add some fresh adrak. Some garlic that I can add as well. This is the non-tamarind version with using the Madras curry powder, and of course a vegetarian version, because usually the Mulligatawny soup is also made using meat broth. I'm going to turn this off now. I'm adding some butter to this. Bay leaf, just some ginger and onion, thoda sa salt, sehat anusar. I've got my Mulligatawny soup consomme ready with all its goodness there. Using a strainer, I'm just going to strain it in. Just give that one good press. All the goodness of the spices that we added are soaked in the onions there. So this has to come to a boil, and then our Mulligatawny soup is ready. So now that's come to a lovely rolling boil. Give that a good mix and switch it off. I like to serve it as it is because the softened onions with little mushy garlic add some extra kick to the soup. Cooked rice that goes into it. Again, to recreate the whole rasam that was served to them as pepper water, they served it with a little bit of cooked rice and a nice wedge of lemon. Squeeze on top and just drop it in. And if you would like some garnish, maybe some fresh coriander leaves for garnish. The culinary history of Madras is vast. The kind of recipes that this city has brought out, the Anglo-Indian touch that this region has brought alive is very, very unique. So that is nothing but Madras to you. I'm meeting Sophia Ashraf, a young rapper from Chennai who has used her music to create a change. She doesn't take this lightly and makes music to highlight feminist and social issues.
வரப்போற கலாவரம் பரப்புற அரக்கியல் அரங்கோர இப்ப என்ன தரப்போற பொட்ட கேட்டு நோட்டு வீச ஊரக்கூட்டி கத்தி பேச பிச்ச போல வாக்கு சேர்க்க விரல தூக்க உன்ன தாக்க.
Sophie, you use music to sort of express who you are. Can I put it that way?
Kinda, yeah.
So how did that happen? I mean, you've had your formative years in Chennai. And how has Chennai influenced you?
Well, I think I am who I am because of the Chennai audiences. The audience was so open to this idea of a girl in a burqa rapping about her identity as a hijabi.
Wow.
And I think something like that can only happen in a melting pot like Chennai.
Yeah. I mean, they're absolutely open to receiving
New ideas.
New ideas.
I think they love art of all forms. They don't believe that art should be this way. I think that way Chennai has been a beautiful audience for me. And my first tryst with using music for social causes started at a beach.
Yeah.
Much like this one.
Oh, how nice.
So there was this collective in Besanagar Beach. They called me one day and they said, we're going to do this gig and we're going to talk about social issues. You seem to be someone with a voice. Why don't you give this a shot? So
and an issue that is probably something that you...
Bigger than me.
Yeah.
So my first gig was there. I did this piece on this venue near Besanagar Beach. And the audience lost their minds. And I felt so accepted, so loved, that I was just like, this is what I need to do.
So that's kind of what you need, right? And like you rightly said, Madras or Chennai is a melting pot. And it blends in culture. There's aesthetics. There is that element of eccentricity that people welcome.
Yeah.
Sophie, if I can ask you, what does the Marina Beach mean to you? I mean, we are right here.
My memories with Marina Beach. So it's definitely childhood memories because I think the idea of going to the beach for recreation is something that gets lost over time. Coming to the beach was an outing.
Yeah.
We used to stuff ourselves into an ambassador and come here, and then there used to be balloon shooting
Yeah.
and molaga bhaji.
Yes.
And there's something about food on the beach that
Yeah,
just tastes.
undoubted.
The cholam, the corn
Yes,
on the beach.
yes. Oh my God. Yeah,
I
yeah.
used to love watching it being made,
Yeah.
especially at night because the lights go all
The
flick.
sparks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very beautiful.
You use music, you use folklore, you use tradition, culture, food, and you,
Yeah.
in a way, can I say you tell stories? What inspires these stories?
For me, Sophie, honestly, if you ask me, the travels that I have taken down south, going into these homes, talking to people from various socio-economic conditions, various religions, and the kind of food that they have. I've talked to grandmoms where they have these recipes that's been passed on to them over several generations. But when you talk to them, they're like, oh, it's really not a big deal. I think for me, it is the underrated home cooks in every household.
Speaking
Kudunga,
of
kudunga.
home cooks and
Oh
food,
my God, yeah, seriously. And we just spoke about sundal also.
manga pottuna.
Okay, madam.
Naraya.
There's something about the raw mango in the sundal. Thanks now.
For me, just having that one mouthful of sundal, I've gone back to my childhood days where I used to hold my grandmom's hand. She used to ask the vendor, sundal fresha, made today. And she used to have like a preferred vendor to buy a sundal packet for me.
Wow. On that note, okay, we have spoken about food, we have spoken about.
Maybe we should just sing.
Okay, yes,
and jam.
let's just.
So we have
sing.
Sundal,
Yeah.
we have the Marina Beach and the ocean, and we have a fabulous setting. All we
Done,
need to
done.
do now.
This is the setting for a music video.
ஓடி வருகையிலே கண்ணம்மா உள்ளம் குளிருதடி ஓடி வருகையிலே கண்ணம்மா உள்ளம் குளிருதடி
வாரா தோழி வாராயோ நீ காணாமல் என் போராயோ தன் தெருவில் தெரிய திரிய வளர உரிமை எப்போல் பெறுவாயோ வடிகட்டி கொடியேற்றி கல்வி பெற்று நீய சுதந்திர நாள் கொண்டாடுவாயோ ஆனா சுதந்திரத்தை இழந்தாயோ தேசிய உரிமை மறந்தாயோ
சின்னஞ்சீரு கிளியே கண்ணம்மா சின்னஞ்சீரு கிளியே கண்ணம்மா செல்வ களஞ்சியமே சின்னஞ்சீரு கிளியே கண்ணம்மா சின்னஞ்சீரு கிளியே